So I'm going to start on this section now. I'm going to just cut along the top and hope for the best. Alright, in situations where you're cutting plywood and you make your cut and then you make another cut, the plywood is going to be released from its position. Here's what I suggest. First of all, put a screw in it, because there's just nothing to grab onto to keep it from falling down the roof. So I have this screw here so I can hold on to it. Even better would be tying it somewhere so you don't have to finish your cut and then grab it. The other tip that I have is cut your hardest one first, which is the one that's going to be on the ladder, and then cut your easy one. That way you're in a better position to grab it. Let me show you how it's done. First we're going to do the hard one. Well, we're not going to do it that far away. Sheesh. Okay, that's the hard one. Now the easy one. Make sure there's nothing in the way. Then get to the end and then grab it. You'll see. Okay, I don't like holding onto the plywood with the screw, but I just use it to pull it out, and I grab the top, and then I remove my saw, and I hit the plywood down. Pretty simple. So my lens is dirty, and I was going to wipe it off of my shirt, but that's obviously not a good idea. So I have all of these done. I have bent them, and now I'm ready to make my styrofoam piece for up here. And then put the windows in. But I gotta go find some styrofoam because I used up all my scrap that I was using. That's the best part, is I'm just using up the styrofoam that's in the way. So, sweet. Anyway, yeah. So I'm gonna go get some styrofoam for the upper part and get that done. And then I can put the windows in. Man, I never know what you guys want to see and what you don't care to see. I feel like sometimes I'm doing stuff without showing you. So, on these windows, there's this cheap piece of junk flange, which they expect you to install a window with. Honestly, these are probably the cheapest windows I've ever seen. But they're going to do the trick in this here garage. So, on these windows, I'm not installing the flange, or I'm not installing them with the side flanges. As you can see, I'm cutting them off because I'm butting the windows up tightly together, like so. And so, I'm cutting the flanges off. So, in case you ever wanted to know how to cut the flanges off, this is how I'm doing it. So, it turns out that all you really need to do is score it well, like that, and you can break it right off, all the way across. How cool is that? Sometimes the ends don't like to participate in the scoring and the breaking. So they have to be manually persuaded. There. So yeah. Like you saw. And I've also been kind of trimming these welds off. Just because they stick out, I don't know, maybe 1/8 of an inch. And it's not going to cause a problem. It'll just be, you know, I'll just put more silicone in between the windows. But, yeah. So, yesterday I went out. I had to go out, actually, for something else. So I'm not going to tell you about. How fun is that? I've got to stop saying that. Anyway, I went out and I bought some screws, and they were 2.5-inch screws. Totally not long enough. I love how this whole video you get to watch my gut and my knife. Awesome. Anyway, I just had to go back out to Home Depot and buy the right size screws. This time I got 3.5 inch, so if I need to, I can screw these windows into the house. So they should do the trick. I mean, the reason they need to be so long, which I failed to realize at the store when I bought the 2.5 inch ones, is that they don't just have to go from the flange through the metal and into the plywood. They have to do it at an angle. Not so much here. This is a pretty straight shot. But up here, let me actually show you. Up here they do. So as I'm going along, in these first 4 windows, I was kind of feeling like, am I securing these strongly enough? I mean, they butt up against a piece of styrofoam at the top. That seems weak. And then, you know, here, that's not solid underneath. But as I'm going along, I'm finding new ways to attach them. For instance, I can go straight up, let me actually show you. I can go straight up into this frame, and I actually do it at an angle in the corner and tie it up to this 2x12, which is way secure. I don't do it in the middle because these frames are so cheap, it would bow the frame. So I do one in each corner straight up. I'm also able to come in here and go at an angle like this and screw back to this plywood. So that's totally secure. So I'm getting more and more confident with this crazy window installing business. So I'm gonna get ready to install this window now. So yeah, this is the last section. This is a 20-foot section in between those 2 posts. Again, this garage was designed around these windows, so that upper beam was made to support the roof. This is not just an afterthought, hey, it'd be neat if I put a bunch of windows in. The 46-inch windows came like 3 feet shy of going the whole distance. So in the middle, I have a 23-inch window that actually happens to be 1 inch higher than the rest of them, which is kind of annoying, but I just couldn't find the perfect size window. So I'm going to go outside again and install some styrofoam insulation above the windows, which I will show you in a second. Ow. Okay. So, this is the stuff that they put on underneath the siding. And they had some left over. So this stuff is basically going to go up here. See? So I will put 1 layer of this on, and then I'll probably put another layer on above it that goes all the way down to the window. Because there's a little, you can see that gap there. This is really hard to do with 1 hand. Come on. See that? See how that works? And then I'll put another one over top of it. Okay, enough messing around. Let's put this stuff up. Alright, there it is. All the windows are installed on this side. On top of that, I have insulated outside and prepped it for siding. But I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to do the siding. I want to make sure I have enough for that side first. So I'm going to wait on doing the siding. But I was almost ready to just cook right along and do the siding. It is prepped with this insulation here. I think what I'm going to do now is, first of all, I'm going to go for a dip in the pond, because it's hot. And then I'm going to prepare the hole for the windows on the other side. So basically cut all this plywood out, and I got to take all the flashing up, bend it over, reinstall it all, cut all the styrofoam, and once that's done, it'll be ready for windows. It's pretty cool. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, anyway, windows installation. So excited. I've been waiting for this for the whole garage build. I'm so excited it's finally here. You can't tell because I'm not smiling at all, but I'm very excited. Very, very excited. Anyway, thanks for watching.